world. So potent is her allure that there have been multiple interpretations of her life and work, on stage and screen, in novels and non-fiction. These vary from hagiography, where she is idolized as the secular saint of fashion, to demonization, in which she is vilified as a Nazi collaborator. Neither of these extremes is particularly useful in exploring the enduring legacy of Chanel. My own approach is, inevitably, subjective. There is no one correct way to elucidate Chanel, nor to view the history that she helped shape. I have spent many years investigating the Chanel archives and others that relate to her life, but this methodical research is underpinned by personal memories. An intangible idea of Chanel is written into my earliest childhood, thanks to my rebellious mother, who chose as her wedding gown a little black dress cut from a Chanel pattern 8 months before I was born. The dress took on a talismanic quality, and I began wearing it with insouciance at the age of 17, younger even than my mother had been as a 21-year-old bride. It seemed to speak of sophistication, but also of defiance, for to marry in black is to break a taboo. Elegance is refusal, declared Gabrielle Chanel, and my mother's wedding dress was material evidence of this belief. Chanel appeared to be significant in other ways too, for like legions before me, I came to associate her name with the scent of womanhood, in my case, distilled in the flask of Chanel No. 5 in my mother's bedroom, and the vial of Chanel No. 19 that her mother, my grandmother, gave me as a birthday present when I turned 18. Thus, the thread of Chanel was woven through our lives, yet hers was a light touch, a spray of perfume, the feel of black satin against naked skin. As a schoolgirl and a university student, I was taught that history was mostly the preserve of men, presidents, prime ministers, kings and cardinals, and that wars, revolutions, and religious schisms were the momentous events worthy of scholarship. The suggestion that history might be examined through the prism of fashion would have been deemed absurd, as risible as the idea that fashion, art, and politics could coexist in a shared landscape. Something of this disdain for fashion is discernible in the cultural establishment today, as if it is too frivolous to be taken seriously. There are times when fashion is indeed facile, or worse. But the notion that what we wear has no bearing on who we are seems to me perverse. Our clothes have an intimacy that is not altogether inanimate. They may hide secrets, as well as revealing hopes and fears. And very occasionally, perhaps once in a generation, perhaps only once in a lifetime, a designer of clothes captures the mood of an epoch, expressing profound emotions with a line of beauty that has the delicacy of poetry. Gabrielle Chanel is one of those exceptional designers, and it is for this reason that she demands, our attention. She never claimed to be an artist. She saw herself simply as an artisan, yet the greatest of her creations have a timelessness that transcends the sphere of fashion. Chanel's expression of modernism in clothing and perfume brought her to the forefront of the artistic elite in Paris between the wars, the peer of Picasso, Stravinsky, Diaghilev, Dali, Cocteau, all of whom held her in high regard and collaborated with her on many projects. Yet even in the avant-garde, the patriarchal view predominated. Women were far more likely to be muses than creative artists. That Chanel is a rare exemplar of the female gaze continues to make her relevant, a century after she achieved her place at the vanguard of design. Is Chanel still judged for her personal life in a way that a man might not have been? As if to deserve her fame and fortune, she must also be proven a good woman? I ask this question not to deflect the valid criticism of Chanel's flawed actions during the Second World War, when she had an ill-advised relationship with a German spy, but out of genuine curiosity. In a period when less than 1% of the French population were active members of the resistance, Chanel tended to make similar compromises as the silent